This podcast is supported by Music Theater of Wenatchee, celebrating 64 years of bringing stories to life. From show-stopping musicals to powerful plays, the Music Theater of Wenatchee stage is where stories come alive. Now they are writing the next chapter, and you can help make it happen. To support the next act of community theater in Wenatchee, visit annex.mtow.org and donate today.
Opening night club.
We're not opening a nightclub.
It's the opening night club. We can't wait to watch an opening night show, because on opening night we always go with our opening night club. Opening night club.
Welcome back to the Opening Nightclub Podcast. This is the podcast where we get together every week to discuss and celebrate local theater, community theater, amateur theater, all types of theater here in Central Washington. I'm your host, Kevin McKee, and with me again today is playwright, actor, auteur, my friend, Skylar Cuthill. How you doing, Skylar?
I am great, Kevin. I am back. Listening audience, can you believe it? I have returned 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. We've got lots of theater we're doing right now. We are in the thick of things. We have things to talk about because we're still in the middle of the Minutes, because we had opening night for the Minutes at Riverside Playhouse. We're still in performances, and you are in rehearsals for Follies.
Yes, we are full steam ahead on Follies. It is a wild and crazy style ship, but we are getting there. By golly, but we are.
That's right. No, we had a good time at opening night for the Minutes. We had a pretty good turnout.
We had a strong contingent.
We had a strong contingent for the opening nightclub. We had stickers to identify everybody that everyone seemed to be wearing proudly. Big shout out to Wife of the Pod, who had stickers printed, and I was thrilled.
The stickers were a hit. I gave out a lot of stickers.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And we've also got a QR code for the pod in the program for the Minutes. If you haven't noticed, pull out your program for the Minutes and you can listen to the pod.
Oh, the pod is growing up.
I think so.
My heart is growing, right, as I see sunrise, sunset, Kevin.
It's all growed up.
The pod is
growed up.
The pod is slipping through my fingers all the time.
Oh, so we had a good time. I think opening night might have been the largest crowd that we had.
You know, sometimes that happens. When I started doing theater, we always got like a lecture that you had to power through opening night, because often opening night is on a Thursday. A lot of people don't come out or whatever. And I feel like the last couple of shows that I have been in, the Thursday has been great because a lot of theater people come out on Thursday.
Yes.
And so like they're your guys. And they are ready for it. They probably know at least a little bit about the show. They are expecting to enjoy it. They're predisposed towards it. And I think we were a good, positive, rowdy audience for you.
No, and that's exactly what we're trying to do with Opening Nightclub, is that if you are a supporter of the theater, you're into it, you're part of what we do, go to opening night, make it a good show for the actors, which we were fired up after opening night because it's like, okay, we've got a show. We know what works. We know that things will happen properly and that the audience gets it.
Yeah, that's part of the fun of doing this kind of theater, that like the nerves on opening night. Like, is it going to work? Are people going to like it? Are people going to show up? And then 90% of the time, it does.
Yes.
And they do.
Well, and you want a friendly audience on opening night. And if you've got a good show, which generally we don't see a lot of truly bad shows, but you want people to show up and then tell their friends, yeah, it's a good show. So if you are kind of a thought leader amongst your friends as the theater guy, they are going to trust what you say. So if you say, yeah, I went on opening night, it's a good show, you should go see it, that means a lot. Because a lot of times they don't know anything about a show. If you're seeing something like The Minutes, very, very few people have seen a production of The Minutes before. But if somebody says, yeah, that's a good show, and they trust you, yeah, they're much more likely to go.
This is an aside, but I will say that's one of the pleasures of doing a new show or a newer show. When you do something classic, like The Sound of Music or The Music Man or what have you, everybody is familiar with it, and then as such, the audience is comparing you to the film. Right. So they're looking and go, not quite as good as the Hollywood professional who did this in their entire life or whatever. Yeah. But when you do a new show, like they're listening to your words. They're actually interested in like what's going on instead of like, so when does favorite things come on? Gosh, this is taking a long time. You know, like they are amped and they are engaged. Yeah. Or God willing, they are amped and engaged. But that's part of the fun of doing something newer. And the minutes, when it was announced, I read a little bit about it, but I still did not know, right? But did we had some other things to talk about first before jumping into the minutes,
okay,
right?
Where are we going first?
Well, we had some retractions to make. Okay. I have some retractions to make.
Okay.
Domingo Gonzalez, the wonderful Domingo Gonzalez, is not involved with Legally Blonde. It is actually the beautiful Anna Rudall who is going to be leading the band.
Oh, okay, leading the orchestra or the band or whatever however many pieces we have for Legally Blonde.
Generally, the Apple Blossom Show, it's a pretty big group.
Yeah.
And a friend reminded me, I had said that I was not a huge fan of Epoch last time because they have kids playing video games, and that's simply the truth, right? That's just a fact of reality that they do. But 2 years ago, I wound up in a kind of wacky situation where I was downtown in Wenatchee on foot at night, and I absolutely had to have coffee. I had gotten myself into a sticky wicket, as they say, and I absolutely had to have coffee. And everywhere was closed. No one had any coffee for me. And then finally, for some reason, I wound up in Epoch, and Epoch was like, "Well, we don't sell coffee, but we have an espresso machine for coffee cocktails. And if you give us some amount of money, we will make you some espresso." And they saved my life.
Wow, coffee saved your life.
I was flagging so badly, and there was still so much to do.
I didn't even offer you a cup of coffee today. Do you need a cup of coffee?
Well, I know that you don't value my life
man.
at all. You don't value it a farthing.
I can make everyone listening to the podcast wait, and I'll go get you a cup of coffee.
Do not do this. I'm pretty awake. I had like a weird scare this morning, so I'm
You're good.
Biologically, I'm on right now.
Okay.
But no, so Epoch, although they do have tweens playing video games in there. So it is a
before 9 o'clock. If you're there after 9, it is a hopping place. I like Epoch.
Yes. No, and they saved my life. So I like the people. Okay. They were very kind to me, and the drinks and the food are good.
Let me expand on this one, and I think this has a lot to do with the community theater here in town. What we found after the show, after most shows, if you haven't been an actor, you don't understand the theater buzz that happens after a show. You know what I'm talking about, right, Skylar?
Of course.
Yeah. So when we finish a show, we will go and we're talking to the audience, and as they come out, because we're community theater, so we'll walk out into the lobby and shake hands and socialize. But everybody is buzzing. The energy among the cast is so high because we've just given our all, and it's this post-game buzz that you have. And so generally you will say, okay, where are we going? Yeah. We're going to go out, we're going to have drinks, we're going to go do something. And there's very, very few places in Wenatchee that stay open past 10.
Yeah, especially that serve food. Because often, as a performance thing, you don't want to like have a big dinner before you perform, right? You have a light dinner or even just some snacks. So often you're quite hungry by the end of a show. So you want to go out and you want to eat, right?
Yes. And so if you look at the places in town, generally during the week, the only two places you could go are Denny's or Applebee's.
Yeah.
And if you have kids, people under 21 in the cast, and you want to include them, you're going to go to Denny's or Applebee's.
Yeah.
If you're in the midweek and you don't have kids, there's not a lot more, but Epoch is the place. That's where you go. You can get food and you can get drinks. What we are finding, though, the new thing is Atlas Fair has started doing Atlas After Hours, where they're open from 8 to 11. They have an appetizer menu, a shortened menu that you can get, and they're serving cocktails, and it's right around the corner from the Pack. It's like on the same block. So it's really set up for the post-show crowd. Last night we were there. Pink Martini, we're recording this on a Sunday. And so last night, Saturday night, Pink Martini was performing at the Pack with the Wenatchee Valley Symphony. And it was a sold-out show. And there was a whole ton of people in there. And so it was the Pink Martini crowd. It was some Follies people. It was people from the Minutes. It was a theater crowd at Atlas Fair. Love that place. But it's only Friday, Saturday. So after Thursday's show, everybody goes to Epoch.
Pink Martini has like a following. They played here a lot.
They do play here a lot, and I think Wenatchee is their big stop. So they will play like Spokane, Seattle, but they'll play one night, right? And if you look at their tour, they're doing 2 days. They're playing a matinee today on Sunday at the PAC, and they're playing with the Wenatchee Valley Symphony, which they don't normally go with the local symphony.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I think they've found their audience here in Wenatchee.
Wow.
And they can sell 2 shows, and people love it.
In Leavenworth at the ICCA, we have the Paper Boys.
Paper Boys were always up in Leavenworth.
Yeah, they were always a big hit. Very, very consistent.
Yeah. So anyhow, okay, so we've talked about eating and drinking after a show. I think
but
that's
what are the shows
important.
themselves?
I think that's important.
It is important. It is important. It's, camaraderie. We're not doing this for money, right? But yeah, speaking of, I am still in the Follies.
They haven't kicked you out yet.
Well, I was going to say the other night I was at rehearsal and there was like a gap in the formation and Jamie was like, "Who's there?" And the girls were like, "Well, X and Y, they're supposed to be here, and Jamie was like, "Well, they're not in the dance anymore."
The show moves so quick.
Yeah.
They need everybody there when they need to be there, and they can always fill because there's so many people.
Yeah, and then another guy in the show was talking to me afterwards. He said that too many people had, for one reason or another, not wound up in his number. So he needed more people in his number.
Yeah.
So people are sliding around.
Did he suck you into the number? Are you now in another?
I told him I would look at it.
Okay.
No, I'm going to look at it. As long as it's not too technically advanced. We only have a week and a half.
I don't know that anything is that technically advanced.
I have been ambushed so many times in my life.
Okay.
Just in general.
Yeah.
That I'm always going to play it safe.
Okay.
So tomorrow I think we start in a more intense way rehearsing. So I 90% chance I wind up in this thing. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I talked to Jamie last night, who was also at Atlas Fair, and I think they're still in flux even for what numbers are going to be there. But I think he's got it mostly nailed down. Has all of the ringers with their numbers that they've picked. He's got a couple of them that they still haven't committed. That this is a number I will sing for you. But I think he's close.
It all works out. It always works out. It's just a crazy sprint.
Yeah.
Right, getting there.
Yeah. No, Follies has always been an organized chaos where everybody is lots of moving parts in that, and it all comes together at the end, and everybody has a great time. I think I'm always amazed at how many women are there. The Follies Guild is actually kind of enormous.
There's a lot of authoritative women.
Yeah.
Right, who know what's going on and are ready to direct you. Yeah. So there is quite a bit of organization. It's just with 200 people.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. No, it's a very positive environment. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of sliding around too.
There's a lot of sliding around.
Yeah.
I think what I remember from it is the guys, that there are older men that I haven't acted with in any other show outside of Follies. And initially, I was like, well, their wives are in it. That's how they got into it. But a lot of them, no, they're there as their wives aren't even in the show. They just like showing up and doing it.
There are a lot of seniors. I'm in the chorus, which is kind of fun. I haven't been in an ensemble since 2023. So no, it's good for me. It's good for me. I'm in the chorus, and there are a lot of outright senior citizens in the chorus, in the men's section, who are super into it, who are grooving along with absolutely every number. Right. And I'm trying to maintain good posture and breath and whatnot. They are literally dancing. They're like, yeah. So no, God bless them. God bless them. They're the ones with the soul.
It's a lot about just going out there and having fun. And I don't care what I look like. I'm just going to go out there and get on stage. It's a wonderful opportunity for people to get their feet wet, saying, I've never been on a big stage in front of an audience before. We can try it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's a very, very positive environment.
Yeah.
And so also last week we did kind of a tutorial about Leavenworth Summer Theater auditions.
Yes.
And I was spoken to by a friend, and he said that I made it out as kind of intimidating. And there is a lot of organization because it is a big organization. There's a lot of money flowing there, right? And they get between 300 and 500 applicants a year. So consider that. If you consider the company is generally between 30 and 50 people. So everybody in the company has probably beaten 10 other people to be there.
Yeah.
So it's it's not intimidating, but you should try. If you want to do it, if you, in your heart of hearts, that's my rule, you don't say no to yourself. It's the director's job to say no to you. You don't say no to you. If in your heart of hearts you want to do it, then please do, because you have some advantages. If you're listening to this podcast, you're almost certainly a local.
That's true.
And I always help with the housing. And let me tell you, it's hard to source housing in Leavenworth. The housing market is very rough there, right? So if you are a local and you have your housing, that is a big plus, right? That they can just cross you off the list and go, oh, great, we don't have to do any more finagling with this dude. Mm-hmm. He is ready, right? And also, you are going to be auditioning in person. Mm-hmm. And you know this, Kevin, because you are a director.
I've been on the other side of that table.
Yeah. And if you have to, then you should video audition. But lots of times it's about like the vibe and the energy that a person brings. And also, how do they get along with others, right? So in-person auditions, it's great in that respect. And also, with a video audition, and you were saying this, sometimes you don't know how many times that person did that.
Yeah.
Right. That when they audition in person, that is their capability. I literally saw it. Mm-hmm. But they could have, done 50 takes for their audition video.
Yeah. When we get to video auditions, a lot of times I can never completely trust it. Mm-hmm. Like you said, this could have been their 12th take and they got the perfect one and they're like, okay, this is the one I'm going to send. Everything is lit perfectly. Mm-hmm. The sound is good. The background is good. And you don't get a chance to see, okay, what type of person are they? As a director, in a live audition, I might give them something a little off to do. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm not even that interested in hearing them read this really angry. Like, I would never do that. But I just want to see, can they take direction? Are they going to be kind of pissy about it when I tell them you read that angry? Are they going to argue with me? And do the people come across as a little weird on stage? I think stage presence is a lot that has to do with it. So that being said, you do have advantages if you are here.
Yes.
And again, I'm assuming nearly everybody is living in Central Washington. Otherwise, maybe you wouldn't be listening. Except for a big shout out to Paul Davis in Southern Washington. Hi, Paul.
Paul came up to see the Minutes with us.
He came up to see the Minutes. That's why I know he's a opening nightclub member.
What a mensch! What an absolute mensch!
He's great. But if you are local, because they don't have to worry about housing for you. They know who you are. Mm-hmm. There is a much less chance, and this is again coming from the other side of the table. There's much less of a chance that you are going to accept a role and then cancel later. You're not going to cancel because you got another role in Jackson Hole and you want to be there rather than coming all the way to Leavenworth. So it's really, if you have comparable people, somebody who's a local and somebody who's not, you're going to pick the local.
And on callbacks, so you do the private audition first, then you do dance call, and then on Sunday is callbacks, and that's when they pair people up. Even if it's not a romantic role, you're still interacting with other people. There's no such thing as a theater role, as far as I know, unless it's a one-man show or what have you, where you don't interact with anybody. So they need to see your energy, and how you play with the others. That's really, really important. So it is a more sophisticated process. There is quite a bit that goes into it. I don't want to misrepresent that. But you as a local do have advantages, and you should not be discouraged, right? If you want to do it, then absolutely please do. Do not say no to yourself in this respect. Do not cut yourself out of the race before the race even starts.
One thing I'd also like to point out, and I don't know that I might be alone in this, but this is just me as a director. It feels like at the Leavenworth Summer Theater auditions, you get a lot of college kids who don't have a lot of life experience. Mm-hmm. And so there will be things where I need them to be naturalistic. I need them to do something to interact with someone on stage. They just don't have the experience. Mm-hmm. So when you ask them to do something, it comes across as a little false. It doesn't come across as natural. I remember when I was auditioning for Sugar, and I needed somebody to play the Marilyn Monroe part. Mm-hmm. So I needed somebody who could be vampy and sexy on stage in that Marilyn Monroe way. And to be honest, most college girls cannot do that. Mm-hmm. I had to kind of hunt to find somebody who could. Mm-hmm. And those are things that people of a certain age, we know how to do that. We've been in a few shows. We've got some bits that we can do. We have some life experience. So I think that really does help out the locals.
I am known for my sexiness and for my ability to vamp. I'm a vampisexual. That's what everybody says about. I got a lot of soul, and I'm very vampy. I'm a known quantity, right, in that respect.
That's right.
Yes.
We do know how much sexiness we can get out of Skylar.
I have been given sexy roles before.
You have.
And I think I've been miscast every time.
No. You can pull it off. You're an actor.
See, and that is true. To a large degree, what we are doing is lying, but it needs to come from somewhere. It needs to come from somewhere in you. And I mean, maybe that's a more talented actor could do more with less, but to a degree, you have to have some kind of corresponding experience to understand what grief is or whatever. To be able to channel that. But yeah. So please do not be discouraged about LST auditions. Please do consider it, especially if you happen to be a middle-aged man that I know who is known for being very funny. Maybe you should consider Uncle Max, right? That is like a rite of passage. If you are a funny man in North Central Washington, you should play Uncle Max at some point. Yeah. It's like a rite of passage, right? So yeah, please consider it.
Okay, so if you're listening, we have auditions for Leavenworth Summer Theater coming up on the 12th, and we would encourage people to go to the website, leavenworthsummertheater.org, and reserve a spot so that you can audition, download the rehearsal material, start learning the songs. I think it's a lot of fun. If you've got time this summer to do it, and you want to fill your summer theater, it's definitely the way to go.
I love Leavenworth Summer Theater. The other day, I was having lunch with my friend, and he said that I was spiritually bonded to LST. And it's weird, but that's probably a good way of putting it. And again, not to be intimidating, but I saw they had a notice that like 2 days after they put up the audition portal that all the Saturday spots were gone. So I looked at the spots, Thursday through Saturday for the individual auditions, and just back of the envelope calculating, this is like 3 days after the audition portal went up, 100 spots have been reserved.
Nice.
And that's in-person auditions. Yeah. That's not video auditions. So, oh my God. I need more vocal lessons. I need more dance lessons. Let's get this whole machine going again.
Well, if you are showing up on Thursday or Friday, it's generally Thursday, Friday are locals.
Yeah.
And so as a director, you're sitting there. If somebody can come out and knock it out of the park on Thursday or Friday, it makes it so much easier to sit through the rest knowing, okay, I've got that role filled. I don't really need to worry that I'm not going to have a Mother Superior or something.
I will be the standard against which all of you are measured. God, I hate that.
Well, there is a certain amount of, okay, I really like that person, and everybody else is going to be compared to them after that.
It's a whole crazy world that we live in.
It's the directing process. That's how you cast.
You've directed a lot, but also recently you were in a show.
I'm in a show right now.
Yeah, you are the lead. You are one of the two leads.
Well, and you were just talking before about how you have to have a little bit of that character in you to play it. And this has been, and I was telling other people in the cast, and the cast, we've got a lot of new people who haven't acted in a while or haven't acted at all. And so they do kind of see me as the old hand, but I do not play non-comic characters much or at all.
You were the president of MTW, though.
Yes.
So you've run like civil society meetings.
Yeah, I think officially I still am until the membership meeting, but Mark Belton has basically taken over. He was president-elect, and so he's running it as president now.
But you've done this before. You have stood up and screamed at people about Native American history in a civil society style setting. Right. This is in your wheelhouse.
Yeah. No, part of the thing is if you go, it's a very funny show, and everybody has comic bits that they're doing. But if you look at it, Mayor Superba has no comic bits. And that's something, as a director, as an actor, I know how to make a bit funny. That is my skill set. I think I get cast for that. I get contracted as a director because I can make bits funny, and I don't get to do any of them.
Mayor Superba is funny, but he's witty. He's not doing gags.
No.
Right, there's no set-up punchline with Mayor Superba.
I will play straight man to some of the other people.
Yeah,
right, and I'll react when they say something idiotic.
Yeah,
but that's not really my role to make things funny. I will kind of help other people be funnier.
Yeah, somebody says something wacky, and then you shut them down, and we all laugh because it's amusing when a person is cruel to another person.
Yeah. It was...
We don't make the rules, folks.
Well, and we've been getting really good feedback on opening weekend. We got good feedback on the show. We did have Josie Meets, who we interviewed on an earlier episode of the pod, wrote an article in the Wenatchee World. And if you get a chance, if you're not a subscriber to the Wenatchee World, Josie Meets has been writing really nice articles and well-written articles for a local paper about people and events happening in town. Mm-hmm. And he wrote one about the minutes, which was a great article, and I was quoted in it talking about how this is more of a medicine show. And I don't know if I've talked about it on the pod, but I know I've talked to you, Skylar, quite a bit, that I feel like there's two types of shows. Mm-hmm. You have candy shows and medicine shows. And so a candy show would be one that is just cotton candy, where it is delightful, you have a good time, and you might not think about it a lot afterwards. Mm-hmm. And this is not to run down these shows. These are the shows really that I tend to like.
Those are my shows. I like light, nothing.
Yeah.
My life is bad. How about we do something nice in the evening?
Yes.
Rather than be the Brezhnev quote, we should not pour muck on ourselves. The minutes pours muck on you.
Well, okay, I'm going to keep going on this before we get to that, because I think that on the candy shows, you and I excel in that. We can make things funny. I would put things like even Shucked, which I talked a lot about. Mm-hmm. That's a candy show. Marvelous Wonderettes, fabulous show. That's a candy show. You're going to enjoy it all the way through, and it's not going to make you think differently about your life when you leave. Mm-hmm. However, we do have shows, and I'm going to put nearly everything by Shakespeare. You've got to work a little hard on Shakespeare, and you should leave thinking about life differently. We talked a little bit about the Wallace Shawn show that we saw in New York, my wife and I, several years ago, 1,000 grains of 1,000 colors or something like that. And it was a 3-hour show that was almost excruciating, and at some point, Wallace Shawn, after the second act, said, "We have chocolates and snacks to encourage you to come back to the third act." And people didn't. Even when the writer and lead actor asked you to come back. Marissa Tomei did not come back.
You all turned down a Sicilian when death was on the line. I cannot. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't eat a snack offered by Wallace Shawn.
Right. That's true.
He has built up his immunity to poison. Right. No, he hasn't. That's the Dread Pirate Roberts. I've got it exactly opposite. Hilarious. That's actually the plot point, that he is not. He's not immune to the poison.
He's not immune to the poison. So anyhow, those are what I would call a medicine show, where you do leave a show and you're like, boy, I had to think a lot during that show. Mm-hmm. And once I leave the theater, I'm probably going to think about it a lot. And they're the shows that I will remember, and there will be something that made me change what I thought about life, what I thought about myself, how the world works.
Yeah, so I did some reading about the minutes, right, as a show, and it's from 2017. Right. So he probably was writing in 2014, 2015. And Tracy Letts.
He wrote it in 2016, really after a tumultuous election. And it was supposed to go on Broadway, but then COVID happened.
Yeah. It did eventually make its way there with Tracy Letts in it.
Yeah, he played my role.
He played Mayor Superba. And Tracy Letts, for background, is from Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And, in American history, Oklahoma is very dense in terms of Native American history, because that's where they sent the Seminole, right, the Trail of Tears. Mm-hmm. Right, so that was the whole setup, was that, like, we're sorry for pushing off the land, but good news, we have this one state that's going to be yours 100%, and then 50 years later, they went, surprise!
Yeah, we found oil and we're kicking you off.
Bad news. The Sooners, right? The people that snuck across the line early. So Oklahoma is very significant, especially, there were natives all across, this great country. But Oklahoma specifically has more history there. So it is interesting background that Tracy Letts has probably been considering this kind of thing his entire life.
Yeah.
Right. And the Minutes is kind of an idea play. And I don't think people use that phrase anymore. But like everybody in the show, or almost everybody, has kind of a representational name. Mm-hmm. Mayor Superba, Mr. Assalone, Mr. Breeding, right? They represent something rather than like, this is normal daily life and we're all just going about our business. They're all representing ideas that are clashing, right? So it is like an intellectual exercise. Tracy Letts is thinking about things, and because he's a playwright, this is how he's expressing them.
Yeah.
Right, rather than through a film or just like jabbering at his friends over drinks. I'm sure he did that too. But he wrote a show.
Yes.
Right, and then he performed a show that is expressing like what he thinks about the situation.
Yeah. Well, he also wrote Killer Joe and August Osage County, which I think a lot of people might know from the movies, that they made movies out of the plays, which were fairly successful.
With Matthew McConaughey as Killer Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I also saw August Osage County. Tracy Letts has actually been in a decent number of films. He was in Wiener Dog, which is a Todd Solondz movie. And if you know Todd Solondz, he's absolutely bonkers. He makes really strange films. So I'm not recommending him necessarily, but I love his movies. And in Wiener Dog, Tracy Letts plays a very icy, like, power broker executive who, like, he has a very attractive and very kind French wife who's trying to, like, coddle their son. And Tracy Letts is always like, "The weak shall perish. You must be strong and kill." And I was like, oh, so this is kind of what you do then, huh? This is your angle, huh?
That's right.
A might makes right style scenario. But yeah. So I really like the minutes. I'd read about it when it was announced. I didn't like read the script, but I read that, or I'd heard that it was very political, and I am very pleased to say that it is not political in the way I was afraid it would be. It is genuinely wrestling with ideas rather than the writer just wants to whack you over the head with some very simple morality play. It is complicated, and it deals with a lot of very, very genuine and very real things. It feels very, I think a lot of people were, tonally it's very strange, because for the first 3/4 or 4/5, it's almost satirically mundane. It's about a city council meeting. And so like there's like a 5 to 10 minute interlude where one of the city council members is complaining about the parking situation. And everybody was like laughing and getting a big kick out of it, because we've all been there. When you're trying to like get work done and a 90-year-old is like, "It's too cold today," and you have to be like, "All right, but we need to work. We need to get through this." And you go, "No, it's never been cold like this." And it was extremely. It was Terry Sloan's character, and she did great.
She did a fantastic job.
Yeah, because we've all been there, so it's very real. And then it absolutely goes off the tracks in the last fifth or so. But that's what makes it interesting.
Well, and one thing I would point out, as actors, of course, we've read the script. We know what's going to happen. We know what the play is. And so we all went into it thinking, oh, this is a medicine show, that we are going in the mundanity. Is that the word, mundanity?
I understood what you meant.
Okay. So we would go into that, and that was just like a prelude, foreshadowing to this whole show. But it turns out that, the first 4/5, it's a candy show. They were rolling. We had big laughs, and Terry Sloan, who plays Miss Oldfield, again, the oldest member on the city council. She got huge laughs, and we had just been kind of plowing through those sections. We hadn't been planning for laughs because we didn't expect it, that we really had a candy show and a medicine show, which, to be honest, I've never been in one, and I have a hard time even thinking of a show like that has such strong fluff elements and thinker elements.
No, so I was talking with Osborne, Mr. Assalone, at the end, and we were joking about
Dr. Dave,
about how low the stakes were for the first 4/5.
Yeah,
there's like some graft going on at the city council, and we were like, the graft is so small scale. It is almost beneath notice, the corruption that's happening on the city council. I think tonally, it's the strongest tonal whiplash I've ever seen in a play.
Yeah.
Right. I have never seen a show that shifted so hard, so fast. And to be forthright with you, we're not going to talk about the finale, because the finale kind of is the show. It's what you want to talk about. But there's another week, folks. So if you're listening to this, you should go and see it. And so you can talk about the finale with us. But at the end, when the lights went down, there was like a weird feeling in the audience. Like, are we supposed to clap for that? Are we supposed to? Are we supposed to approve? Like, because Clapter. That's a funny slip I just made. Clapter. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to put that in my doc.
You should use that.
Clapter.
Trademark.
We weren't, because clapping means approval generally. I clap if I like what you said. And the finale is so strong. We were like, Oh yeah, it's a show. Yeah,
Yeah.
great job, friends. It was a very weird energy in the audience.
Dude, I'll be honest, and I might save this for next week. I might cut it out. But on Saturday's performance, we finished the end, and we're all standing there with the lights, and it's very awkward. And the lights start going down for the final time, and someone right in the front row says, "What the hell?"
That's not an inappropriate response. That's a very. I was sitting with the beautiful TJ Farrell. I think she was like plastered to her seat. She was like, "What? What?"
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, a warning that we did have several people like coming through thanking us, but in tears.
Oh.
That it is an emotional roller coaster. I think that gets used and misused, but it will pull emotions out of you that you might not be expecting.
No, if you weren't familiar with the show, you absolutely.
Yeah.
It's such a insane swerve.
Yeah.
But I really liked it, and I think you all did a great job with it. Particularly, I wanted to salute Matthew Pippin.
Yes.
Right, as
Hanratty.
Mr. Hanratty.
Yeah.
I could not figure out what Hanratty represents. The name itself. Everybody else has a pretty clear. Mr. Breeding is like an aristocrat and he's an ass, right?
Yeah.
Miss Oldfield is very old, right? Like this all follows pretty easy. Mr. Asselin wants his ass left alone, right? Hanratty, that's kind of just like a normal name.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. But no, he's great. Matthew really brought it as like the sad sack, who's like the one guy trying to actually accomplish something. You know, like he's like, I have a really good idea. And everybody, which if you've been involved with the civil society organization is very common. And it goes, more work.
Well, and the weird thing that we found is that so he's trying to do something for accessibility and so we can be more inclusive as a society. And as we're watching it, the audience is so behind him because we're like, yeah, he's our guy. We're theater goers and we're progressives and this is what we want to do. And we've seen this enough and we've got like the proposal in front of us and we're like, this is $400,000 to do your proposal, and we're a small town.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way we can approve this because it makes no sense financially. But the audience they're not following that. They can see he's got passion. It's something that sounds right, and they're all behind him.
Yeah.
And boy, Matthew, his arc is perfect. He's able to bring it from where, he's so excited and then he's down and then he turns. Yeah, no, he does a fantastic. I would agree.
No, it's true that unlike the federal government, local governments actually need to maintain a budget and all that and actually spend within their means generally. Sometimes they don't. But so no, there are legitimate objections to it, but a lot of the objections in the show were just being an ass.
Yeah.
Right, Mr. John Schultz. John Schultz was wonderful as Mr. Breeding.
Yeah.
Who is like the most high-handed son of a bitch on the planet Earth, right? No, it was great. And John Schultz is very nice in real life.
Oh, yes, they're all very nice people. And that was the hardest thing because we all are complicated, leaning towards kind of being jerks.
No, I love John Schultz. That's a very classic bureaucrat. Like he did a lot of like leaning back in his chair with his like fiddling with his pen in front of him. And just like the most classic bureaucrat look. Like, oh, might take a while to do that one. Yes, I don't know. I'm so busy. He did a lot of that. It was great. It was tone perfect.
His lines, he was complaining because he has a lot of point of order, Mayor.
Yeah.
Those lines that just get thrown in randomly, seemingly randomly, because there's lots of things he could object to, but very specific ones that he does have to.
Those interstitial lines, those little lines are always the hardest. The monologues, you can chart them out and figure out what's the flow, what are the ideas, where are the transitions, but the little lines are so hard. And speaking of, our boy Dylan Clare, the lead, who is on stage almost the entire time.
Yeah.
There's one scene that he's not on stage for. And has a million little interstitial lines. He did great.
He did a fantastic job.
Our boy.
Yeah. No, he was in 12th Night, and he really hadn't been on stage in 6 years. And
So he did like in school then.
He did school. He came through Short Shakes with him and his brother Owen, and so I've seen him on stage for quite a while, and then he was just gone, and he was in Europe for a bit, and he's back and really dove into this character, and honestly was just perfect.
He's like the the Mr. Smith Goes to Washington character. He's
Yes.
Mr. Peel. He peels things apart, right? And no, he was great because he's quite a bit younger than everybody else in the cast.
Yes.
So yeah, he looked perfect. He was the guy for like, I am out of my depth. I don't know what's going on. Gee whiz, I hope that I get along with everybody, you know.
And very physically a non-threatening person, and making him sit next to Dave Osborne, who is a power lifter and trains people in powerlifting and physiology and exercise. That was a big comparison back and forth. And boy, Dave was able to use his physicality on stage, and it was shocking because we don't get that often on stage.
I'm thrilled that we have a physically imposing person. You know, theater types, we're all kind of have the same phenotype or whatever. But Dave is, I love it. It's funny, like we were all immediately scheming about him. We were like, oh my gosh, we have a big guy. Let's do this. You know, we have so many projects unlocking for us. Now that we have somebody dangerous.
I did want to call out some of our backstage people that I hadn't worked with in the past. Abby Preto, who really came along with the director, Brian Higgins. I think she's in his Avid classes. And she had showed up during the rehearsal period as an assistant director and was very new to all of it.
Is she from Quincy?
No. From Wenatchee High School.
Okay.
And Abby wouldn't say a word, was very quiet, and just kind of took it all in. And now she's stage manager. And so she would come in while we were doing, dress rehearsals, and she would say 5 minutes. and then she'd run off.
She was intimidated by your acting talents.
I think, she was intimidated by all these adults who seem to know what they're doing. And Mike Magnotti, I think, was the one that would say, Abby, come back here. Say it louder. So she'd say it a little louder. And so then he's like, no. And so, last night she's like, 5 minutes, everybody. We're like, thank you, 5. And she's really come into her own. Great stage manager. Nicole Villacrez is the assistant stage manager.
Oh, Nicole's involved.
Oh,
I had no idea.
I am so glad. And she's been supporting Abby and helping her get into that role, which has been great. And we've also had a mentee producer, Alana Wendorf, who Alana Wendorf is doing a whole ton of stuff at Wenatchee High School, and I had no idea that she's been working backstage at the PAC. She's been working with Kylie and Mike there. She did the sound for Little Shop of Horrors and has really been doing a lot of backstage stuff. And because she is a high schooler and she was in the ticket booth most of the time and making sure that everything was running smoothly, it was easy to overlook her. And I am just so thankful to have some of these younger kids up and coming into the theater doing some of the backstage stuff.
I want to go on the record as saying that I am scared, disoriented, and threatened by the new generation coming on.
Really?
I want the status quo to remain exactly the same. And,
no.
That's the only way I get roles is if I'm the only acceptable person involved. Right. So you all stop changing things. All right.
Stop getting better.
Yeah. Knock it off. I worked hard to get here.
Oh, man. Anyhow.
I was Uncle Max twice.
It's a good Uncle Max. So we'll probably be able to talk about the minutes as a whole show after it closes, and we can talk about really details of it.
You should go and see it. If you haven't seen it yet, you should go and see it because it's hard to talk about without talking about the finale. The whole show really kind of is going in that direction. You should. I recommend it. It's fun. Also, it's a new show. This is new stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, we've also worked a lot of foreshadowing into this show that really only makes sense if you see it a second time. I'm going to throw that one out there.
Ooh.
I think on Saturday night, they picked up a lot of it on my first entrance when he asks, so how was last week's meeting? Did I miss anything? And I pause and I say, we're on track. And the audience, I think Saturday night, they go, So they started picking up on, there's stuff going on that we don't know yet. So it was good.
Well, I did want to mention last week we talked about Humans, a brief primer, and
Yes.
I am officially announcing that it is being delayed.
But not too long.
Not too long. God willing, it's going to be pretty soon, but it will not be the third weekend of February like we had talked about.
Okay. So we're looking at pushing it back a month?
Yeah, March-ish.
Okay.
I don't want to get pinned down to a date because look what happened the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is delayed. But the next show coming up is Kashmir doing Once Upon a Mattress.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's going to be opening on the 30th. I'm not going to be able to make the first weekend because I've got a show, but you'll be able to make it the first weekend.
I will make it the first weekend because I cannot make it the second weekend because I have a show. That'll be Follies.
There we go.
Yes.
So we'll be talking about that one next week, but please go to Kashmir and see Once Upon a Mattress. I believe that's being directed by Susan Gupsh.
Love Susan, Mother Superior.
Yeah, I think, and Becca is going to be the choreographer.
And then after that is Follies the week after.
That's right. And so that's running the 5th, 6th, and 7th.
That is only one weekend, folks. If you want to see the big jamboree, 200 people just kicking like crazy, it's going to be Follies.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, and the tickets will probably going to sell very well for this show. Go and support it. All of the proceeds are going to very good causes. So I totally recommend. If you haven't seen it, it's a community event. It's a let's put on a show, folks.
Event might be a better word for it. Event.
Yes.
You know, it is, and it only comes around every couple of years.
Every 3 years. They
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
And then after that, I'm afraid is doing Grease. And the next kind of big thing around here is going to be the ICCA Miss Holmes and Miss Watson, Apartment 2B.
Yes.
They are promoting the hell out of that show. They have coasters. But no, I'm really looking forward to Miss Holmes and Miss Watson. We're friends with the beautiful ladies in the cast. And they are pushing the hell out of it. I actually really like the coasters. Phil and Mackenzie have done coasters for all their shows. And I think that's great. Because then you look at it because you're at the bar or whatever. Because in my world, of course you are. And, because you look down at the coaster when you put your beer down, right?
Yes.
So I think that's great promotion. And then I wanted to ask a question. So for those of you listening at home, you can't see it, but Kevin has printed out this very nice list of all the shows that are coming up. And so there's like the local school shows and the local theater shows, but he also has all the Paramount shows on there. Are you going to go see any of these?
I'm going to see all of them.
You're going to see, so it has Paramount is doing The Wiz in February.
We're going to go see The Wiz.
Then they're going to do The Notebook in March.
Yes.
And then they're going to do Hell's Kitchen in July.
Yes.
Is Hell's Kitchen the Gordon Ramsay show?
No. Hell's Kitchen. No, Hell's Kitchen is not about Gordon Ramsay's. It's actually a jukebox musical using Alicia Keys' music.
Okay.
Yeah, it did fairly well on Broadway. So we've got some stuff coming up. We want everybody to go out there. And if you haven't seen the minutes, this is me personally, go see the minutes. Yeah. I think it's good.
No, I liked it a lot. And it's fun that it's a show that deals with real things in a very thoughtful way, not just like whacking you over the head with it and saying, I am superior to you and you need to think like I do. Mm-mm. You know, it's got some real body to it.
Yeah. So come out, go see the minutes. Go out to opening night for Kashmir High School. It's opening up on the 30th, and they're doing Once Upon a Mattress. Support that show on opening night. If you can, go see that as soon as you can, but go see it during the run, go see the minutes, and make sure, go out there and see another opening night.